there is this issue of white Afrikaners going to the US and under the pretense of genocide, white genocide, which is basically absurd. Like, when I see these things in the news, it's really infuriating because there is no such thing. And again, there are over 4 million white people living in South Africa right now. And not all of them live in Cape Town. Most of them live around South Africa in tribal lands. We go there to the tribal lands of the Zulus or either the Vendas, the Sotos. You'll find white people there. And some of them actually speak those languages. And some don't even have, European kind of surnames. Some they've changed names. Like, for me to often hear that there is genocide in South Africa really is really infuriating. Like, I don't even know what to say. And for the sake that they do not flee at least to the next country like Namibia, Botswana, to at least set up some tents there, or even for the UN to get involved. It just shows you like the nonsense that Donald Trump vomits every day on social media. Like, literally, this guy, for me, he gives me those Hitler vibes. Like, he wants to act as this white savior, the savior for white people. Which really I don't get it, because what do they want saving from? History basically shows that they are the ones that has been doing the whole persecution thing. I mean, other races like the Asians, like the Chinese, the black people, were often at the end of that stick. So what do they need saving from? Because even currently they run like they are the most, I think, richest race in this world, literally. For me to see these kind of things, really, it's just appalling. There are no other countries that talk about it, neither Europe. And for them to go to America instead of going at least to some countries that is somehow related to their ancestry, like Netherlands, they don't do it. They actually don't do it. And again, personally, as an African, too, like I often feel very sorry for white Americans. Like, literally, if you were to compare like poverty levels between South Africa and America, right? If you go to South Africa, right, and you move around, you go to the so-called white slums, you'll find that most of them, at least, yes, they are poor people, right, but most of them usually live better. Right, better. They are living on land, maybe in small houses. Yeah, I know that's bad. But if you go to America, guys, and if you want to see white poverty, really poverty on white people, you'll see things that will, have you question like this world, like, where have our morals gone as people? If you go to the US, you'll see white people living in cars, like vehicles, like. It's bad over there. And for a president, a US president for that matter, to take the money, right, to relocate these poor white people that have their own houses in Africa, at least they're living in some sort of land, for him to take the money to hire the jet, right, to bring them here and house them, while his own people are living in vehicles. I mean, that has to be the most devilish thing that I've ever seen. Like, literally. You often see kids, if you could go on Google on YouTube, you often see kids, small kids for that matter, like living in cars. Like, they will tell you that this is everything that we have. At least in South Africa, if, let's say, things becomes bad, even for any white person for that matter, you can always go to the so-called rural areas. You go there, you meet the chief, and you talk with the chief, and the chief will give you some sort of, sort of a piece of land there, small land where you can build your own hut, you can stay there. But in America, there's no such thing. When you don't have land, you don't have land. It's either you live in a town, small town, or you go to the forest. While in South Africa, there are big cities, there are small towns, there are rural areas. So, I'm really disappointed, especially with these people. For the sake that out of 4 million people, 4 million white South Africans, only 70,000, that's less than 2%, claim to be interested. Less than 2%. And these are the population that claim that there is genocide. Right? 2%, like literally, out of 4 million people. Which begs me to question that. 2% out of 4 million people. And only 59 or 54 have been approved. Genocide. Look, South Africa's crime levels are just out of this world. And in South Africa, crime doesn't have any color. Criminals don't care what do you look like or anything like that. They kill everyone that they see. Everybody. As long as you have got money, do you think a criminal cares about like whether you are white and you are not supposed to rob? you have to be joking. Criminals kill everybody. In fact, if you look at the statistics, black people die more as compared to white folks. So this thing of white genocide is basically nonsense. I think it's a right-wing kind of agenda that some are tired. I think of this black government, which of course some black people are actually tired of NC because of corruption. Like the NC government is many things, but genocidal is not one of them. Literally, it's not one of them. And for AfriForum to even gone to the United States and talk about all this nonsense, genocidal nonsense, then they'll come back to South Africa and they're trying to organize all South Africans, black and white, and they're telling them, oh, we need to remove ANC. That's basically stupid. And when black people watch this kind of stuff, like, what do you think runs in their mind? Do you think they'll stand with a person who thinks like that? Because what they've just done is to destroy the image of black people. I'll say this again. AfriForum, what has done is destroy the image of black South Africans in particular. And if you're black South Africans, imagine going to somewhere in Europe and people ask you where are you from, and Europeans see these kind of things. So you people in your land are murdering white farmers. What kind of perception do you think those people have about black South Africans? What AfriForum did, you did every chance of unity, like you literally have drawn a line that there's white and black, and I can tell you that you have just given ANC another years, right? You have given ANC another lifeline. I mean, which black person in their right form will vote for such people, or even try to unite with such people? Nobody. And that is the reason why ANC will remain in power, and it will. Because we're not going to associate ourselves with people who think in such things like that. So what you've just done, you have destroyed everything, every kind of trust, or even small trust that we've achieved through all these years. Just flushed it in the toilet. That is what this is all about, because you've really dented our image. You call crime a genocide, which is absurd. But either way, we'll see what happens. And for the sake of those that go to America, those white folks, I'll say good luck, right? Good luck, because if you don't have money to buy some land in America, you're going to be a worker there, a farm worker. And the work that was being done by what do you call those, the Latinos and the Mexicans that came from the Latin countries, that is the kind of job that you're going to do there. Literally, there's nothing else. No American are going to work on some slave labor kind of jobs in America. They chase the foreigners away, and you're going to do those kind of jobs. And the next thing is that there, unlike in South Africa, where you have the freedom to basically insult anyone, whether they're black, or do some stuff that black people do, you can't do that there. Because in America, anger is real. Not in South Africa. In America, anger is real. You talk to the black people there in America in a funny way, you'll get a bullet in your head. Because those people do not play those kind of games. You can't insult anybody and get away with it just like that. In South Africa, the kind of, I don't know, real anger. And the people that you're actually going to see, if you think that you are the majority there, you'll be surprised that there are some white folks there that won't even see you as, or even welcome you as their own. This issue of, I don't know, white supremacy is just outdated. Literally, it's just outdated. Something that doesn't work anymore. People are actually moving. This whole thing of white blacks or something like that, there's no such thing. You look at Africa and you said, oh, Africa hate white people. Even if you look at the worst people in Africa that you can call, Julius Malema, Robert Mugabe, all those people, they don't hate white people in that manner, because they might hate Westerners, but they don't hate white people as well, because they do adore Russia. For example, Julius Malema loves Russians. He said that a couple of times. He often see them as his brothers and sisters or his friends. Same with Mugabe. Same with every other, African president. I would say not just Russians as in particular. I would say Slavic people in general. Also, that was seen as the good thing. They don't see every white folk like that. We've got a different perspective. So we'll see what happens, but I don't think the people that went there as refugees, And again, here's the thing: if I was a white person in South Africa, right, and I need to leave South Africa, I'd rather go there or go to any country as an economic refugee, because when you return, I think most people will face problems. I don't know, maybe they will, or they might get that citizenship revoked. I don't know. That's the whole thing. But I always say that most people, especially white people, like in terms of traveling, migrating, most that go out, they always come back for some reason. Some go out there to work and then they come back, they invest in their small businesses, and they just continue life. Life in developed countries in general is very difficult, very difficult, and that's just the truth. If you are poor in a developed country, you are really poor. Things are not going to get any better for you, anything like that. So again, I wish all those people that went there the best, but as I've said, like, you've really gave us bad name, South Africa. Yes, fine, it's good to call you the government, all sorts of things, corruption, things like that, but to call all black people genocidal, I think that's another level. And personally, for me, I think I'm happy that these kind of people are out of our society, and I would love to live among such people. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.